Cherry Rose, the pleasure's all mine.
Dreadful squelching and a torturous howl instilled panic in the young woman, who laid half unconscious on unfamiliar ground. Though hot blood pumped desperately through her throbbing veins, sore muscles refused to put thought into action. Sherry's frightened panting and footsteps faded away, as did her elder friend's consciousness once again. Who can tell how much time had passed, when a tiny but powerful flashlight seared Claire's corneas like bacon on a griddle, and an unrecognizable woman's voice floated through the chilly underground air. "Wake up. Wake up. Open your eyes and hold still. Not infected." She flicked her flashlight off and stuffed it into her lab coat, then left Claire to her own devices, opting to pace about the disheveled room and scribble frantically into a small flipbook. The younger of the two groaned as she stumbled on her tingling feet, taking her own mental note of the abandoned, still sparking elevator and concerningly large pool of blood on the concrete floor. Your name... Sherry? She turned to the blonde. "Hey, where's Sherry? A little girl? About this tall? Blonde hair, sort of like yours? And your name? They've got... Oh... The other woman, presumably a scientist, barely paid Claire any mind, even after bumping into the brunette's shoulder as she continued shoving her pointed nose and cerulean eyes into her work. "Huh? Sherry? Sherry's fine." The researcher carried on mumbling to herself. Reasonably suspicious of the woman, considering previous events, Claire pried for more. "Do you know Sherry?" "Was an impressive display of strength." "Hello? What happened to my friends?" "We have to assess the situation." "Who are you?" "I'm Claire." "I didn't foresee this." "Excuse me. Where are my friends?" Claire pressed. She was beginning to become more irritated by the second. "Hello?" "What? Oh, Annette. Tell me, what happened to William?" "I don't know. Who's that?" Annette finally looked up at Claire and gestured about the room, seemingly annoyed, as if Claire was supposed to know what she was talking about. "The creature responsible for this. You're telling me that thing actually has a name? Can you at least help me find Sherry? She's too young to be all alone and seems to be evolving much faster than expected. Annette snapped the flipbook shut, before making it and her pen accompany the flashlight in her lab coat pocket. She began making an exit towards a large metal door, until Claire called out to her one last time. "Where are you going?"
Look, I don't have time to play 20 questions. Everything is under control.
As the middle-aged blonde tried escaping the conversation yet again, the doubtful Claire persisted. "I need to find Sherry."
My daughter is not your concern.
Annette turned back around so forcefully, it made her brunette counterpart jump back involuntarily. Satisfied with her reaction, the more than aloof scientist finally left Claire in the dust, slamming and locking the door to prevent being followed.
Adult male, deceased, but soon to rise. Just like the others, his chest cavity and abdomen have been rising in different spots after being infected via oral implantation. I'd say the movements resemble a baby kicking inside its parent's womb. As we expected, the G-Young reject those whose DNA are not a close enough match to the original Golgotha holder, Dr. William Birkin. Hence their need to burst through their hosts before evolving minutes later. In the time it's taking me to find this body, the embryo has no doubt already grown big enough to burst through at any moment, ready to evolve into a G-adult. Final thoughts on this subject. Destroy the host. Destroy the embryo.
Annette stared at the mutilated corpse she knelt beside, putting away her flip book and pen with an expression of self-condemnation. The shell of her ears may have received the squeaking of a door in front of her being opened, but she ignored it all the same.
Definitely William's handiwork.
The sound of a gun safety clicking off, and a young man's warning found her eardrums next.
Identify yourself!
A stern woman answered the honey blonde's query. Annette Birkin.
She's who we're looking for?
It seems no one received special treatment when it came to Mrs. Birkin, as she rose to her 4-inch heeled feet and refused to acknowledge them as well.
Not much time. Need to dispose of it.
Ada stepped forward, gun at the ready and her head tilted forward like a predator in the tall grass. "We're here for the G-virus." The scientist scoffed mockingly.
That's not gonna happen.
"I'm warning you, Doctor."
Oh yeah?
With little time for the agent and officer to react, Annette Annette set fire to the corpse at her feet with a wind-resistant lighter. She dashed in the opposite direction, aiming for the faux wall she used to enter the hallway prior to this inconvenient ordeal. Ada gave chase, hurtling over the flames effortlessly, despite her footwear.
Stop! Ugh! Ugh!
As she turned a corner, Dr. Birkin turned around to fire an onslaught of lead hollow point bullets, mostly to keep the hunter at bay. But if one should enter her skull, good riddance. Leon barely managed to shield his partner from the merciless assault, with a dive and call of her name. The heroic act unfortunately caused the same bruised shoulder to be pelted with a scorching bullet. When the allies fell to the ground, Annette seized the opportunity to finally make her escape. The wall closed quickly as she taunted her pursuers one last time.
You'll never get the G-Virus!
Ada sprung on her heels, grunting frustratingly as she fantasized burning a hole through the concrete, obstructing her from the next piece in her puzzle. Ugh. Damn. Didn't expect that from a scientist. Beneath her nose, Leon groaned and rolled onto his back, cradling his wounded shoulder. Leon!
Forget about me. Just go. Stop her before she gets away.
To even the agent's dismay, Leon succumbed to his exhaustion and blood loss. She swiftly took hold of his combat knife on his waist and ripped the sleeves of his white undershirt with a sigh. After turning them into makeshift bandage strips, she wrapped them tight around his deltoid, then dragged him to a wall and leaned him against it. The task may have proved a little difficult, despite the young officer being leaner than most, but his figure still packed more than a few muscles. Finally, Ada removed her trench coat, revealing a figure-hugging satin red dress and sheer black pantyhose, then swaddled Leon to keep him warm. She looked down at him when she finished, debating on whether to thank him or call him stupid, when a high-range walkie-talkie came to life at her hip. A voice on the other end asked about her progress. "I'm right outside the facility, in pursuit of Annette," she responded. The person was skeptical, doubting the scientist would actually keep the G-Virus vial on her person. Well, if it's not on her, it must be in the nest. Once it's in hand, I'll call for extraction. She ended the conversation with the simple press of a button, then stared down the hall. A venomous cobra spirit flowed through her veins. Her dark brown eyes glinted in the dim underground light. You can run, Annette, but you can't hide.